Alright, in this section we're going to go over the bow and arrow. We're going to start with the bow. The recommended bow for the bikes is the long bow. There are certain circumstances where you can use a different style. Best thing to do is make sure you check with your AO and your group leader on the bow for your character. A few of the specifications on the bow. The bow can have a 35-pound draw at 28 inches. Big thing to remember, if you're using a long arrow, you've got to shrink that down some to compensate for it. The bow that I have here in my hand has a linen back on it. This helps the longevity of the bow. It keeps it from splintering, helps keep it in better shape. When you look at the bow, a few things you're going to check on it. You're going to check and make sure there's no cracks down the sides of it, that the shaft's in good shape, and that your string's in really good shape too. As far as the arrows go, the arrows can be made from a hardwood dowel rod. A few of the specs on it, as far as the fletching go, the minimum total fletching you can have is 18 inches. What I mean by that is you take all your fletchings and add them up, the minimum they come up to is 18 inches. They must be 2 inches tall. You can't cut them down or anything, you have to leave them alone. They must be attached securely to the shaft, wrapped around from top to bottom. When you do the knock on it, cut the knock into it, it must be supported. Make sure you check these knocks for cracks, or if anything's broken off, discard the arrow. As far as the other end of the arrow goes, you must use a rubber bird blunt on the end of it. One thing to always remember, never ever take a broken arrow like this one, put a bird blunt over the end of it. Very dangerous. Also, make sure there's no tips or sharps or anything underneath here before you put the blunt on there.